All right. So here, uh, what are the topics for discussion today? Just a quick introduction and overview. What are the eligibility and preparations? DGCA CPL ground classes. What all subjects are there, and what are the general, common pitfalls for which people fall? Avoiding the 30-day pass or DGCA exams myth, which unfortunately a lot of our colleagues in the industry they tend to say this that please concentrate less on XYZ subject, primarily two subjects, namely regulation and metrology, because it's quite easy. You just need to follow your question bank. That is actually not the case. Okay. Then why should you be attending the ground classes at all? Because you can end up doing self-study. Self-study is helpful, but it is only helpful when you have your fundamental conceptual things cleared. Navigation, technical general, technical specific. These three subjects are deeply conceptual. If your concepts are not clear, the self-study is not going to help you. Okay, so self-study comes later. Attending thorough, well-organized, and well spread out classes is important when you begin. Then the course format and the learning tools, success track record. This is regarding Airship. Question and answers, then we'll just throw it open. If you guys have any questions, please do let us know and our contact info. All right, so introduction and overview, guys. Here at Airship Aviation Limited, we provide a unified view of DGCL CPL ground classes. Apart from CPL ground classes, uh, at the same time, we are also heavily invested and we have already run multiple batches for airline preparation exams. I don't know if I'm sure most of you would be having your friends and colleagues or someone in your family who probably are in aviation already. So big airlines like Air India, Indigo, Akasa, and Air India Express, they keep coming out with their cadet pilot programs or their type rated vacancies every 2 to 3 months or few months after a gap of every few months. So Airship is running parallel batches. We have already successfully created a record of at least having a 95% passing rate in all our batches. So DGCA CPL classes are just an addition to these few other classes which we already have at the moment. Okay, so we here strive to highlight the common mistakes and myths, demonstrate how our Airship Aviation Academy addresses each challenge. Acknowledgement of challenges. Some candidates, some of you will quickly clear DGC exams, others will struggle because each journey is different. So please don't compare yourself with your peers. It's only very natural to, for everyone to have their journeys different. Then why the ground classes are critical? Because the DGCA has quite robust CPL ground classes standards, okay? And not just CPL ground classes standards, their examination patterns, they also keep changing. So it's not that if you have a set of examination papers or questions which have been coming, let's say in 2021 and 2022, it doesn't mean that the same set of questions will keep repeating themselves in 2023 and 24 as well. They keep changing their questions. They keep introducing questions from new questionnaire, from new question bank, keep eliminating the older ones. So they keep changing their question patterns also. Okay. So here at Airship, our approach is to blend the theoretical rigor and go beyond the bare minimum requirements. What are the eligibility? One needs to be 18 plus to apply for CPL. Your education background is you need not be science background. There is a difference between being a science pass out from your senior secondary school and having maths and physics in your class 12th. These are two different things. A person with a commerce or an arts background can also be a pilot. Okay. So, because the requirement is not that you need to have a science background, the requirement is you need to have studied and cleared your physics, maths, and English in your senior secondary class, or in the northern India primarily, it's known as 12th standard. So, as one of our colleagues over here, he mentioned, who's this Harsh? Harsh, it's you, right? Who's currently pursuing these classes from NIOS. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, as Harsh mentioned, you can be from art and commerce background also. You just need to clear maths, physics, and English if you did not have any of these subjects already. So, let's say if I'm from commerce and I did my 12th class with commerce background, but I had English and I had math. So, to be eligible to be a pilot, what do I need to study? I need to study and clear physics only for class 12th. How do I do that? I will have to enroll myself in something called as National Institute of Open School, NIOS. Okay, so you enroll yourself, you study class physics, 12th subject, of course, for which you will have to dedicate a few months learning the concepts of physics. You will have to go for your tuition, physics tuition classes. And then whenever the open school board exams for physics, you appear for the board exam, you clear it. The moment you clear it, you're eligible. Okay, so that's important. Even the bachelor's degree holders must have physics and maths. So let's say, you know, uh, you could be bachelor's degree in any subject. You could be having it in IT as well. But if you did not have a particular, let's say you've studied your class 12th from a Hindi medium school. Just a small example. You studied your class 12th from a Hindi medium school, but you passed your class 12th in science stream. But it was a Hindi medium school. Your primary subject was Hindi, and English was not there. Now, technically, you are a science student. Okay. Later on, you may also choose to join some university via Hindi medium and have your BTech degree also. But all through this journey, you never had English as any of your subjects in class 12th. So just because you're a science student, you even are a graduate in BTech, does not make you eligible. Why? Because of that one subject which is missing, English. So you will again have to study English, take the classes, attempt NIOS class 12th English paper and clear it. Okay, so I hope the eligibility is clear. Thereafter, then you need to have medical fitness. The first medical is class 2. It's a one-day affair. Thereafter, your documents are sent to DGCA, and it's only after your documents are submitted to DGCA and they are scrutinized, you are issued something known as a PMR file, Personal Medical Record File Number. All right. So once you have the PMR file number, then you can go and seek class 1 medical date. English proficiency. All the instructions, exams, and communications are primarily in English. It's not just in Airship. It's not that I don't know other languages. I know other languages, and as you would have already realized it by now, you need to have a good command on the language. Okay, this is not just gonna come in handy at the current stage, not just come in handy while you're attending the classes. It is also going to be coming in handy and will be one of the criteria for your selection tomorrow when once you have your CPL and you go for your interviews and you go for your general discussions, your GD group discussions. It's very important for you to have a good command on your on the English language. If it's not flawless, it should at least be at an elementary level. It should be very easy to communicate. That at least you are able to pass on your message. I understand most of us, uh, all of us are not on the same page as far as English pronunciation is concerned, but this is something if someone is there who really doesn't have a good command on the language, the time for you to start practicing how to converse in English language begins now. Okay, so please stand in front of the mirror, talk to yourself, start reading English newspapers. Please have your English newspaper, maybe a Hindustan Times or a Times of India, whatever. Have a subscription. Start it at your home. Start reading. Stand in front of the mirror. Talk to yourself. It will come in handy. Because if you think that you're just gonna have a very struggling pronunciation of the language and you can go ahead and clear the exams, which you can even go and finish your flying. Eventually, you will have a CPL also. But if you don't have a good command on the language, it will not get you a job. I'm telling you, it's a realistic, a practical part of it. Okay? Because tomorrow, when you go for your group discussions and you sit in those interviews, no one is going to talk to you in Hindi or your native language. They may just ask you, where are you from? Or they may just greet you. Okay, Vanakkam, Kemcho, etc., whatever, whichever part of the country you are, probably they'll just greet you. But eventually, your complete interview is going to be in English language. So it's important. You need to have a good English proficiency. Formal ground classes will help. Of course, they will. While some will claim that self-study is enough, the reinventing the wheel approach wastes time and can lead to misinformation. At Airship, okay, we ensure there are structured training, reaches each candidate, and each candidate understands the official syllabus thoroughly rather than memorizing or guessing. That's what we strive to do. Then, what are the subjects? I'm sure you all are aware of these subjects. Some of you who are not. There are three subjects which are mandatory in any case. Okay, air navigation, aviation meteorology, air regulations. So air navigation is everything pertaining to how to navigate the aircraft using different radio instruments, radio aids, reading the charts, how to read the charts, the logic of latitude, longitude, coordinates. Okay, uh, how do you navigate on a spherical surface? What is a spherical surface in this context? It's our Earth. Okay, Earth, what's the space shape of the Earth? It's oblate spheroid. So how do you navigate? What are the concepts of degrees, of minutes, of hours, and so on and so forth? Everything, everything about what I've just spoken about comes under this topic, air navigation. Meteorology, simply in Hindi, it means mausam. Okay, so it's everything concerning weather, winds, clouds, water, sunshine, mountains, turbulence, fog, sea waves, land breeze, sea breeze, equator, tropical, this and that, everything that you have heard around is all under meteorology. Third is regulations. Just like you got traffic regulations, if you're driving a car on the road, you have some regulation that you're supposed to stop at a red light. Uh, you're supposed to be driving in the innermost lane. If you're a high-speed traffic, if you're a low-speed traffic, keep to the left. Similarly, you got regulations which define aviation travel as well. All right. So these first three subjects which you see on your screen, navigation, MET, and regulations, these three are mandatorily to be cleared anyways. So if any one of you who chooses to do their flying, your flying training from outside India, you only have to clear these three subjects and nothing else. If you're someone who decides to do their flying from India, then you'll have to clear these three. And in addition, you will have to clear the last two as well, which is technical general and technical specific. So technical general is basically your different types of parts of the aircraft. Okay, which are those parts which assist in creating the lift? Which are those parts which assist in creating the drag for the aircraft to stop? What is weight? What is lift? What is thrust? What is drag? The four forces acting on an aircraft, and your different type of engines, your different types of flaps, reversers, deceleration devices, so on and so forth. General knowledge about an aircraft. Just like how some of us are a bit aware about all the parts that we have in a car or a bike. Okay, like we have a piston, we have a carburetor, we have a fuse plugs, we have spark plugs, etc., etc. Similarly, so this knowledge is called technical general. So that is one exam that you'll have to clear. Technical specific is exactly the same as technical general, except that, as the word suggests, specific. So it is specific to the aircraft that you are flying at that flying school. So if you're flying a Cessna 152, you will be giving the exam of a Cessna 152. If you're flying a Cessna 172, you will be giving the exam for a Cessna 172. Okay, so that aircraft which you're flying, you'll have to prepare everything about, or rather, you should be knowing everything about that aircraft. Okay, so first three, last two. These are mandatory if you're doing your flying from India. In addition, there is one more exam, which is the third one from the last, radio telephony. Okay. So now if you're doing your flying from India, then it becomes important for you to clear this exam also. Now, radio telephony is a exam which is basically uh, permits you to have a license to operate radio apparatus. Now, what is the radio apparatus? It's basically the usage of a mic, the usage of a transmitter or receiver that you are legal to tune into particular frequencies. There is a certain way of transmitting, certain way of reception to decode a Morse code, etc., etc. Okay, in India, this activity is licensed and it is permitted only for licensed categories. Pilots are one of those categories. So therefore, the pilots need to have that license to operate. Now, where is this equipment for a pilot? So tomorrow when you go for your flying training and when you're flying your machine in the air, how do you think you're communicating? You're not using your phone devices, right? You're wearing those headsets, you're using those frequencies, you're using that push to talk button to press it and then transmit. So all that transmission and reception that you're doing when you're sitting in the aircraft can only be done when you are a licensed pilot. Licensed in what? Licensed in radio telephony. So for this, there is an examination. It's called Indian RT. Now, it's one of the most tough exams, but it is not doable. Okay. It is very doable. Majority of the people have it. It's just that in the first or two attempts, one may not clear it, which is an absolutely acceptable norm in aviation industry. Okay. So if tomorrow you go and prepare yourself and sit for this exam and you don't clear it in the first go or even in the second go, it's fine. There's no rush. The second part to it is someone who is not doing his flying from India and let's say chooses to do his flying from US, they, if they wish, they can always give this exam in India and clear this exam. If not, they can all. There are always ways of arranging for for a radio telephony from another Commonwealth country. We have spoken about it in detail in our previous webinar, so I'm not going to repeat it over here. So if someone who wishes to attend the previous webinar, the recordings are available with our team. At the end of the slide, we'll share the contact. You can get in touch. You can listen to the previous webinar. I covered it all. All right. The central two subjects, flight performance and planning, human performance and limitation, these are not two different subjects. They are basically parts or sub-parts of air regulations. Okay. Uh, these are the two new topics on which DGCA in the last 5 to 8 years have started creating a different set of questions over. As the aviation is increasing, there are more cases of pilot fatigue, this and that. That's why they've introduced this new subject of human performance and limitations. How much can you fly? When do you think you're tired? If you are tired, what should you do? What kind of lifestyle should you be having? What is a healthy lifestyle? What all medication should you not be having? How can you exercise? So on and so forth. Okay, so these things are also covered by us here. So this is, in a gist, the list of subjects that you are expected to study. What is air navigation? So I'm not going to repeat it again. We'll just quickly run through the slide. Basically, like I said, it covers coordinates, your great circle routes, Earth, magnetism, navigation aids. These are all the names of navigation aids. VOR, VHF, omnidirectional radio range, VOR, DME, distance, and your NDB, non-directional beacon, GPS, global positioning system, your flight planning techniques, metrology integration. What are the common mistakes that people make? People start underestimating the workload. Okay, because why? They'll have a good understanding of 2 to 3 subjects and they'll start believing that they know the whole navigation in and out. Navigation, like I said, is a very concept heavy. It's not a chapter or it's not a subject which you can just simply mug up. Because if your concepts are not clear, you will never be able to clear this exam. Like I said, it's one of the easiest subjects to clear. Okay, just like when we all were in our school back in school days, our tutors used to say that your maths exam is one of the highest scoring exams. Why? Because if you have the concepts clear regarding the formulas, which formula to apply in which question, you can't really go wrong. In maths is not a subject to the interpretation of class teacher kind of exam. If your answer is right and your formulas were right, you will get full marks. Navigation is exactly the same. It's a highly scoring subject as long as your concepts are clear. Concepts regarding what? Concepts regarding which, concepts regarding the navigation of an aircraft with respect to air, relative bearing, the difference between heading, track, bearing, so on and so forth. So it's a concept heavy subject. One needs to pay good attention. All right. Again, our approach, in-depth classes with real-life scenarios. Yes, we do that. Second is meteorology. Like I said, everything regarding weather systems, fronts, jet streams, cloud formations, wind patterns, weather hazards, turbulence, icing, wind shear. Common mistakes, learning only tricks. Some try to memorize weather patterns without grasping underlying physics. That's correct. What is the physics, underlying physics over here? Something has any one of us attended any classes or attempted any exams who can kind of correlate what we are trying to say over here? Harsh, are you there? Okay. All right. So basically here, what it says is some try to memorize weather patterns as in, let's say, low pressure system. Okay. So the seasons which we see in North India in the months of May and June, those dust storms. In Hindi, we call it Andhi, which Lu, which blows in from Rajasthan towards Delhi. All that phenomena is basically because of something known as low pressure system. Okay. What we are experiencing right now in North India is fog and is cold fog. This is all because of high pressure system. Now, what is low pressure? What is high pressure? This is something we'll leave for later when we study meteorology. But there is physics involved in this as well. So again, it is conceptual, very important to understand. Regulations, everything regarding DGCA, ICAO regulations, because India is a signatory to ICAO, airspace classification, ADC procedures, aviation security, common mistakes, overconfidence, thinking regulations are only about memorization. Okay, so it's not the case actually. Even in regulation subject, one needs to have a clarity of concepts. If not in as depth as in navigation, yes, it's not as deep as navigation, but you still need to understand why. Uh, why is the airway width 10 nautical miles to each side, let's say? What is a RNP or a RNAV? What is the difference between them? Okay, these are some technical words which I'm using. So I don't expect you to know them right now, of course, but just trying to tell you that there's a rationale even in regulations. Okay, flight performance and planning, quite straightforward. Aircraft performance, takeoff, climb, cruise, landing, weight and balance. Okay, your aircraft, it's very critical. Like in your car, you can only fit in a certain amount of luggage in your boot space, right? It's not that you can just keep carrying unlimited amount of luggage in your boot space. There is only a certain limit. Plus, they will always be governed by how much of a weight can you put on your car. If the weight on the rear side is so much that your rear side of the car is actually touching your wheels, you will have to take off some weight, right? Reduce some weight. So there'll always be limitations left, right, and center. When it comes to aircraft, these weight limitations, how should you be stacking up the luggage, what should be your center of gravity, this becomes a little more critical because the aircraft eventually is going to fly in air. The car, if something's going to happen, it is still going to stay on the ground. In aircraft, the things become more dicey. So the knowledge required around the aircraft performance, the weight and balance, the fuel calculations is what all is covered in flight performance and planning. All right. Then human performance and limitations, physiology, psychology, crew resource management, workshops on stress management, cockpit decision making. So all this is covered over here. Radio telephony, like I said, standard physiology, emergency communications, radio navigates, regulations. So this is another subject. At Airship, at the moment, we do not cover radio telephony. Okay, so for radio telephony, you will have to find out uh, your different institutes. There are other institutes which give classes for radio telephony. Technical general, uh, like I said, aerodynamics, lift, drag, aircraft systems, flight instruments. So it's all general. Engines, altimeter, airspeed, indicator, attitude indicator, performance basics, etc. Specific, exactly the same as in general, but for the specific aircraft you fly. Okay, so that's what it is. A lot of the institutes will actually tell you 30 days to pass all DGC exams to try and enroll you into them, into their batch. And then subsequently, once you join them, you'll start realizing that it's not really 30 days because you cannot do it in 30 days. It's as simple as that. Okay. So some claim will clearing all 4 to 5 DG subjects in 1 month. There is no hurry, guys. While certain segments, regulation, methodology can be tackled fast. It's a fact. Okay. So like I said, navigation and technical are a bit more conceptual in nature, so they are going to take more time. So comparatively, regulation methodology are easier. There's no denying, but that doesn't mean that there is no concept involved in methodology. Okay. The problem here is, and this is something which I can tell you as a matter of experience from my side, because I think I'm someone who's been involved in airline recruitment exams as well. I can tell you the major problem here is people not having the concept. Passing with superficial knowledge might hamper airline recruitment readiness, which happens. So you're mugged up notes from, let's say, 3 or 4 different institutes. You have mugged up around 1,000, 2,000 questions. You have somehow cleared your CPL exams. The problem here is the moment you clear CPL exams, later on, when you start preparing for an airline induction, airline preparation, and then you have to sit down and clear the respective airline's written examination also. Then the superficial knowledge doesn't allow you to clear that exam. If you somehow clear the exam, you will be caught on the concepts in your interview. Okay, because in the interview, there is always a panel of 4 to 5 people sitting. There are two senior captains. There is one gentleman or lady from the HR. There'll be one, psycho uh, psychologist. There'll be a doctor as well. So everyone is just monitoring your body language, to how you are moving your hands, to how are you shivering, are you moving your legs, your posture. The senior captains, one of them will ask you the questions regarding CPL stuff, whatever you learned in your CPL. They will go to something as basic as what is the feathering of a propeller. Okay. The other captain will ask you specific questions about the aircraft that you're type rated on. So it's not easy. That is the stage when one realizes, yeah, why did I, a lot of people, what they end up doing is they open up their notes from 5 years back or 6 years back just to refresh their CPL knowledge. Why? Because now they know that in that interview, people are asking CPL stuff also. So it's very important to not clear with just superficial knowledge. Please have the concepts clear. Okay. Why is it important? Self-study versus professional ground classes. There are some people who will tell you that please study on your own to save money. Of course, if you study on your own, you're not spending any money. There's no denying. But if you don't know the concepts at the word go, what exactly are you going to do in your self-study? That is something which people don't realize. So it is feasible, but often leads to scattered effort, missed updates. So if you're spending 30 to 40 lakhs on your CPL journey, another 1 lakh to 2 lakh is not going to cost you much. Okay, so please don't try and cut corners. Why at Airship? Why is Airship worth it? Because our mentorship, our instructors are DGCA exam veterans, airline captains, and subject matter experts, including myself. I'm also one of the instructors who's had more than 17 years of aviation experience. Uh, and I am conducting classes for type-rated students and CPL students as well. Okay. And apart from me, we have a team of we have our own team of senior captains and first officers who are all currently, as we speak, employed with XYZ organizations in India. Okay, structured curriculum. We break down the extensive DGCA syllabus and manageable modules. Updated material. DGCA frequently changes questions, so we consistently revise notes. Focus on concept and tricks, and guidance beyond the exam. So, my number, my other colleagues' phone number, not our personal numbers, but the airship numbers, will all be given to all the students who enroll with us. We are available 24/7, any time of the day, without hassles. Okay, it's an open door policy. If there is ever a doubt with respect to any questions, any topic, anything, be it something as small as my computer number is not going through, I got stuck in class 2 medical or class 1 medical, we need some assistance, we are all available. Okay, it's not just limited to classes, it is beyond classes as well. What is the airship's format? Like I said, it's online and live. So it is primarily live. Once the live class is over, then automatically the live class is at the back end, it gets recorded, and within 24 hours, it's available. So let's say if there is someone who was unable to attend a class right now because he or she was working or is employed somewhere else or had his school or college, whatever, and now you're free in the evening, you can just simply log in and go through your missed class in the evening, so that it gives you a real time flexibility and you don't really have to come to Delhi for this. Okay. Learning management system. So what's exactly this? We have, like I said, recorded lectures. We have ebooks, practice quizzes, and progress trackers. The students can review any module anytime to reinforce challenging topics. Apart from this, then we have simulated official DGC exam conditions, which identify weak areas early and allow targeted remedial sessions. Uh, and we have our mock exam series worth thousands of questions. Okay. And they are periodically updated. And the last one which was updated was the last DGCA session exam, uh, which was conducted just a few weeks back. Our track record. This is something which naturally, I would like to share with you all. High pass rates. Many of our students have cleared the multiple DGC papers on the first attempt, avoiding re-exam. Alumni in major airlines. All these testimonials, which you see on the bottom side of your screen, they are all available on our Instagram page as well. Our page goes by the name of Airship Aviation Limited. There are some who had volunteered to be, who had uh, given us the permission to share the names and their photos. We have done so. There were a few colleagues who were a little apprehensive about not sharing their photos, but they were okay in sharing their names. Okay, so as you can see, this is just a very small bunch which we could show on our screen. Cleared Indigo JFO, Indigo JFO, Indigo JFO, as you can see. All of them cleared, they were all with us, and there were many, many more. They're all available. If there is someone who would want to get in touch with any of our ex-alumni, we facilitate that conversation also. So please make a wise decision. You can find out about the credentials of Airship at your pace, and we can facilitate you to get in touch with our ex-alumni. Also, if there are some particular questions which you would want to ask them about us, okay, so we are more than happy in doing so. We have no issues. All right, guys. So, question and answers. What duration of classes? This is going to be exactly the same as you get in your offline classes. So, if you were to come to Ramphal Chowk and sit for your DGCA written examinations, you would generally be here for around 2 to 3 months. All right. And you would generally, let's say, go to person X or person Y's ground classes. You will be expected to arrive at 9 o'clock. Classes will start by 9:30. They'll end around 3 to 4 or 4:30 with multiple tea breaks in between. It's exactly going to be the same. There is no change. Okay. Our classes also be for 4 to 6 hours with necessary breaks in between. And you will not feel the difference. You will be available here. Whiteboard will be used. You'll all be making your notes. The notes would be available after the class on our website as well. Uh, so our timelines are not lesser than any other competitor's timelines. That is long story short. All right. Exam pattern frequency, DGCA typically holds exams 4 times a year in April, July, October, and January. We assist in scheduling. Career opportunities after CPL. Most students pursue commercial airline roles. Yes. Some go for flight instructions, which means, some of you may just choose to stay back. Let's say if a person X has decided to go to Baramati, person X has decided, Y has decided to go to US for their flying. After the flying, if you really like the environment over there, or if the job opportunity back in India is going to be a little tough, there are so many people who decide to stay back, become an instructor at that school itself, and then continue in the instructional role. That's what we mean to say over here. Okay. This is our information. This is our one-stop shop phone number. We are we are quite prompt in responding whatever queries you may have. If some of you want to reach out to me directly, you can get in touch with our team and they will relay your message or connect you to me. This is our email. This is our website. And we have our Instagram page by the name of Airship Aviation Limited, where you can just go and check all our testimonials as I've showed to you. Okay, so with that, that brings us to the end of this small, short, useful webinar. Before I open up, this thing for you all to ask for any questions, I'll just quickly run you through the Airship website. Okay, so just hang around. I'll just take 2 to 3 minutes, not more. Hey guys, so am I visible to you again? William, can you confirm? Am I visible
Yes,
and
sir.
audible?
You are visible
Okay.
and you are audible.
All right. All right, guys. So here, the moment you log on to our website, airshipaviation.com, this is the page which will open up for you all. Okay. You will have to go to your My Enrollments. And just for the sake of explaining it to you as to how do we have our recorded classes and content available, on these are our different uh, packages which are available right now, which they are all relevant to different segments of students. This is the A320 airline recruitment examination pattern. Okay, so as you can see over here, or rather, let's go to CPL preparatory class. All right, so this is the CPL preparatory class. As you can see, these on the right hand side, just follow the cursor. All our subjects are, all the recorded classes are very nicely laid out and stacked up subject wise. So the first one is meteorology classes, then we have technical general, air regulation, general navigation. So as you can see, we have 10 lessons, means we have 10 recordings, introductory class, atmosphere, day-to-day physics, earth and solar system, temperature and humidity, etc. And all these classes. Now, these classes that I'm showing right now were from an airline interview perspective. So they are only for an hour or a 1.5 hour or a 2 hours. In your case, tomorrow when DGC classes start, these timelines will go up to 4 hours, 4.5 hours, 5 hours also. Okay, so as you can see, these are all recorded. So if I wish, let's say if I just want to play this atmosphere day by day physics, I don't know if you can see the recording, but you can hear it. Because there is some backend IT restriction which doesn't allow the video to be shared on a screen share. Okay. Tropical revolving storms. Again, it's a complete video. If you just simply watch it on your respective systems without any screen share, you will be able to see it completely. But while I'm trying to screen share, it's not playing it's not playing the video. So there's no error. It's a IT security which our team has put. So these are all recordings. Similarly, we have for technical general and we have for all the other exams. Apart from this, sorry, not exams, all the other topics. Apart from this, we also have study material. Okay, so what I showed to you right now was the video. If you go and see, let's say CPL study material metrology, atmosphere. So if we click this, you will see that you have this. We have uploaded all our study material as well. So nice graphical study material with explanation, with pie charts, with points, and relevant 4 to 5 sheets, which are very user friendly, which are exactly DGCA exam oriented. So you don't have to really keep scorching left and right or go on different tabs and find the information. All the information is compressed in one page. Okay. Day-to-day physics. Okay. So this is all based on DGCA, heating of atmosphere, and like this, so on and so forth. So I hope I've been able to explain that how our website looks. So let's say if you're someone who already had a CPL and was attempting to give an exam, the Indigo's JFO program exam, this is what we had covered in our previous batches. All right. So all those kids, if someone missed their class in the morning, they would just simply log into the website, go and review. Let's say if there was a meteorology class which was conducted in the morning and they could not attend, they'll go to meteorology class. They will check which system was missed. They'll go there. They'll watch the recording, their convenience, sitting at their home, and there's no need to be in Delhi for that. Okay. And then associated PDFs were all available. So this is how,